Now to the homeless situation in New York and a search for solutions near a massive shelter in Midtown. People in the surrounding neighborhoods say the situation just keeps getting worse. So what is the city doing about it? CBS 2's Hazel Sanchez reports.
This is the everyday reality for people living in Kips Bay with the Bellevue Men's Shelter as their neighbor. Homeless men sleeping on their property, exposing themselves, doing drugs, and even using the street curb as their bathroom.
I mean, this is commonplace. I wish I could tell you that that was a horrible thing that happened once in a blue moon.
Neighbors say the shelter on East 30th Street and First Avenue is simply overwhelmed. While city shelters were capped to hold 200 beds in 1999, Bellevue, the citywide intake center for homeless men, was grandfathered to hold 850 beds. Gregory Descartes says he used to stay here, and poor conditions motivated him to get his act together.
Straight out of jail, you know, the people's on drugs, you know, they smoking crack, and you know, it's like they stealing, it's the worst, the worst experience I've ever had in my whole life.
The Department of Homeless Services, or DHS, says there were 8 violent incidents at the shelter in 2015. In April this year, a man was murdered here, his throat slashed by another homeless man. After a 90-day review of DHS, the city made several security improvements, including installing 280 security cameras in the shelter for the first time since it opened more than 30 years ago. Human Resources Administration Commissioner Stephen Banks says the city is not done making changes.
We're working with the police department, which has deployed a management team to the Department of Homeless Services to review the security needs in this shelter and throughout the system, and that will improve safety for both residents in the shelter and in the community.
City Council member Rosie Mendez represents the neighborhood surrounding the Bellevue shelter and wants the number of beds reduced.
We strive for 400, maybe 450. I think that would clear up a lot of the problems.
Commissioner Banks says the city is looking at all options, but that the primary solution is homeless prevention. In Lower Manhattan, Hazel Sanchez, CBS 2 News.
As a result of the city's 90-day review of the Department of Homeless Services, 180 at-risk residents were transferred to more specialized shelters. They were replaced with 100 employed or employable shelter residents.